You and someone sitting right next to you can earn the exact same paycheck for 30 years, and one of you retires wealthy while the other retires with nothing. Same income, same hours, completely different endings. So the question is, how do you make the money you already earn actually build wealth, instead of just passing straight through your hands? Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki answers exactly that. Kiyosaki grew up learning money from two men. His own father was highly educated, a government worker with a good salary, and he still died with bills to pay. His best friend's father dropped out of school at 13 and became one of the richest men in Hawaii. Same boy, two fathers, two completely opposite scripts for money, and here's the uncomfortable part. The dad who sounded responsible, study hard, get a safe job, was the one who stayed broke. One of them was simply wrong about money. You'll learn to tell an asset from a liability, why the middle class is stuck in something called the rat race, the habit of paying yourself first, how the rich quietly use corporations to keep more of what they earn, how to grow your financial IQ so money works harder than you do, and the mental blocks that stop almost everyone from starting, plus more.
This one earns its place on your shelf.
Let's jump in. Here's the whole book in one picture. Every dollar you earn is a little worker. A poor person sends those workers out to buy things, a newer phone, a nicer car, and the workers never come home. A rich person sends the same workers out to bring back more workers. Those workers then have workers of their own. Do that long enough, and one day your workers earn more than you do, and you never have to work again. That single picture is the difference between the two dads. Everything ahead is just how to build it. Lesson 1. The rich don't work for money. When Kiyosaki was 9, his rich dad hired him for just 10 cents an hour of boring work, and deliberately let him get angry about it. The lesson underneath? Most people let two emotions quietly run their entire financial life: fear and desire. Fear of not having money is what drives you to the job every morning. Then the paycheck lands, and desire, for nicer things, a bigger life, spends it before it can grow. So you ask for a raise, but a bigger paycheck just feeds a bigger fear and a bigger desire. Earn, spend, repeat. Kiyosaki calls this the rat race, running faster and faster on a wheel that never actually moves you forward. The rich escape it because they've stopped working for money and started making money work for them. And the first move isn't a raise, it's awareness. The moment you can see fear and desire steering your money, you can finally take the wheel back. Lesson 2, and it's the single most important rule in the whole book. You must know the difference between an asset and a liability, and buy assets. It sounds almost too simple. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out. That's the entire rule. A rental you own that pays you rent, that's an asset. A share of stock that pays a dividend. A slice of a business that runs without you, assets. But the car loan, the credit card balance, and yes, very often the house you live in, with its mortgage, taxes, and endless repairs, those quietly pull money out every single month. They are liabilities. Here's the trap that catches the middle class. They buy liabilities they were told were assets. The car, the bigger house, the shiny things, all sold to us as smart. So they work harder, earn more, and still feel broke, because every new dollar goes out through the liability column. Rich people spend their lives filling the asset column instead. So before your next big purchase, ask one honest question. Will this put money in my pocket, or take it out? Lesson 3. Mind your own business. There's a difference between your profession and your business. Your profession is your job, the thing on your business card, the thing that pays the bills. Your business is your asset column, what you quietly build on the side that pays you, whether you show up or not. Most people spend their whole lives minding someone else's business, their employers, and building someone else's asset column instead of their own. And watch what happens when they finally get a raise. It feels like winning, but spending rises to swallow it. A bigger paycheck buys a bigger car, a bigger house, bigger payments, and within a year, you're right back where you started, just with more stuff and more stress. The fix is a habit called paying yourself first. The instant money arrives, you move a fixed slice into your asset column, before a single bill is paid, not what's left over at the end of the month, because what's left over, honestly, is always nothing. Lesson 4. The rich use corporations. This is a quiet edge most people are never taught. There are two ways money can flow. An employee earns, then gets taxed, and finally spends whatever is left. But the rich, operating through a corporation, which is really just a set of legal papers that lets a business own things and pay expenses, they earn, then spend on legitimate business costs first, and are taxed only on what remains at the end, same dollar, opposite order. And that one change in order, repeated for a lifetime, is worth a fortune. It's why Kiyosaki says the rich don't actually need higher salaries, they need financial knowledge. The tax laws aren't a secret members club, they're written down in public. The rich simply took the time to learn the rules of a game that everyone else is playing blindfolded. Learn the rules, and the whole board looks different. Lesson 5. The rich invent money. Opportunities to build wealth are all around you, all the time. Seeing them takes something Kiyosaki calls financial IQ, how well you actually understand money, markets, and numbers. The higher your financial IQ, the more deals you notice that others walk straight past. And the thing standing between most people and those deals is, once again, fear. This time, the fear of losing. Watch what happens in every single market crash. The fearful panic and sell at the bottom, locking in their losses, while the financially educated calmly buy the exact same assets now on sale. Two people, the same crash, opposite moves, because one person sees a falling price as danger, and the other sees it as a discount. The difference isn't luck, and it isn't nerve, it's education. So invest first in your own financial education, books, courses, small real bets you can afford to lose. The mind is the one asset that prints all the others. Lesson 6. Work to learn. Don't work for money. Here's advice that sounds completely backwards. Early in your career, don't chase the highest salary, chase the most useful skills. Kiyosaki once took a sales job at Xerox, not for the pay, but because he was terrified of rejection, and he knew that knocking on doors would cure it. He worked to learn, not to earn. Why does this matter? Because a specialist gets paid well for one narrow skill, and then gets trapped by it, too expensive to leave, too specialized to move. The people who build real wealth tend to know a little about a lot. Enough sales to raise money, enough marketing to find customers. Enough accounting to read a deal before they sign it. Skills stack, and they compound, just like money. So ask of your next job or project, not only what does it pay, but what will it teach me? Because a skill you truly own is an asset that no layoff, no crash, and no boss can ever take away. So if it's this simple, why doesn't everyone do it? Kiyosaki says the blockers aren't money, they're all in the mind, and he names 5. First, fear. The fear of losing money, which keeps you in cash and out of assets. Second, cynicism. That inner voice that lists every reason a deal won't work until you talk yourself out of it. Third, laziness. Usually wearing the disguise of being too busy. Fourth, bad habits, like paying everyone else before you pay yourself. And fifth, arrogance, thinking you already know, which is really just ignorance plus ego. The single most powerful cure is the habit you already met. Pay yourself first, every single time, until it's automatic. The pressure of your own unpaid bills will force you to find income the fearful never even look for. You don't need a fortune to begin, you need to begin. So here's how to start. Find a reason bigger than the fear, a deep why that gets you out of bed. Choose, every single day, to buy one asset instead of one liability. Pay yourself first, without exception. Pay for good advice. The right broker or mentor is cheap compared to a bad decision. Keep learning one new thing about money each week so your financial IQ keeps climbing. None of these need a big salary. They need a decision, and then repetition. Because every dollar of knowledge sends your little workers out better trained and better paid. Strip it all the way down, and Rich Dad Poor Dad is really one single shift. Stop working for money and start buying assets that put money to work for you. That's the whole book, and it's the whole difference between the two dads. The full book goes far deeper. The real estate deep dives, the honest stories of both fathers, and Kiyosaki's own expensive mistakes that a summary can only point at. But your first move doesn't wait for any of that. It's small, and it's today. Send $1 out as a worker, and tell it to come back with a friend.